You didn't think anyone saw you. You didn't think anyone noticed the way you forgave, even when it crushed you. You didn't think the heavens recorded the moment you walked away from revenge, even though your heart was breaking. But listen closely now. Heaven saw it. God marked it. And your name was whispered in the throne room. You kept going when others gave up. You stayed pure when temptation danced before you. You chose the narrow path, even when it cost you friends, family, comfort, and recognition. And in secret places, when you cried out with no one listening, the angels stood in stillness, watching a warrior wrestle the weight of destiny. You've passed the test they didn't even know you were taking. You endured the trial sent to expose or elevate. You sacrificed without applause, loved without return, gave without expectation, and waited when everyone else rushed. And in doing so, you proved your spirit belonged to another realm, not this world. Do you know what happens now? There is a shift in the spirit realm. Heaven is opening doors no one can shut. God is releasing honor no man can steal. The same places that mocked you will marvel at you. The same mouths that gossiped will gasp. Not because of you, but because God has chosen to lift you now. There is a record in heaven, and your obedience is written in gold. Every tear you cried in silence, every battle you faced in private, every silent yes to God when everything in you wanted to say no, that's what He is proud of. That's why He's elevating you. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. You didn't wait in vain. This is your time. This is your recognition. This is heaven responding. God is deeply proud of you. Don't you ever doubt it again. Heaven doesn't measure success the way the world does. While others count numbers, applause, and visibility, God counts obedience, endurance, and the purity of your heart. You thought you were invisible, but you were hidden, for a purpose. Hidden like Moses in the reeds. Hidden like David in the caves. Hidden like Esther in the palace. Hidden like Jesus in Nazareth. And now, the time of unveiling is drawing near. You were not rejected. You were reserved. You were not disqualified. You were refined. You were not forgotten. You were being formed. There were times you felt like giving up. Not because you were weak, but because the weight was heavy. You questioned if you really heard Him, if the calling was real, if the warfare would ever end. You stared at closed doors and wondered why everyone else's seemed to open so easily. But what you didn't see was that God was building something inside you that can't be shaken. He was digging deep roots, ones that could survive the drought, the storm, the betrayal, the silence. He was stretching your faith because He knew where He was taking you, and surface-level faith wouldn't survive it. He was training your eyes to see beyond the physical, to discern the invisible, to walk by the Spirit. And now, beloved, the atmosphere is shifting. The veil is thinning. The heavens are rumbling with movements in your favor. There are whispers of your name in angelic tongues. There are scrolls being opened. There is divine alignment falling into place. God is not just proud of your sacrifice. He is preparing to reward it openly. And this won't just be about you. Others will be blessed through your obedience. Generations will be changed. Chains will be broken. Territories will be claimed. What you've endured in private will become the key to unlocking healing in others. The enemy tried to silence you, wear you down, distract you with confusion and delay. But you didn't fold. You didn't bow. You didn't become bitter. And even when you felt weak, you still whispered, "Yes, Lord." That yes was more powerful than you realized. That yes echoed through dimensions. That yes broke cycles in your bloodline. Heaven took notice. Hell took offense. But God took action. Now comes the unveiling. Now comes the reversal. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. What was once a desert is about to bloom. What was once a prison is about to break open into a throne room moment. You are about to see why it had to take so long. Why it had to hurt so much. Why the warfare was so relentless. Because what God is releasing now isn't just a blessing, it's a mantle. A divine assignment. A supernatural upgrade. Don't shrink back. Don't question if you're ready. If God says you are, then heaven backs you completely. Angels are assigned. Favor is released. Protection is surrounding you. And destiny is calling louder than ever. The heavens have recognized what you did. God is deeply proud of you. The story is not over. Far from it. What you've lived through was only the foundation. What's coming next is the divine unveiling of what has been hidden inside you since before you were born. You were never ordinary. You were born set apart. You've always felt different, out of place, misunderstood, and that was never by accident. It was divine evidence that you are a chosen vessel for a sacred purpose. There were moments when you nearly gave up. When the silence from heaven made you question your value. When the doors slammed shut one after another. When the people you loved walked away or turned on you. You whispered prayers through tears, asking God if He still remembered you. And He did, every single moment. In fact, every one of your tears was caught in heaven's bottles, recorded in heaven's books, and echoed in heaven's chambers. You weren't being punished, you were being preserved. You weren't overlooked, you were being overshadowed by the Most High. There was a reason you had to be isolated. A reason you had to walk alone. God was not allowing people to understand you, because what He's doing in you is unlike anything they've ever seen. He was teaching you how to hear Him in stillness, how to trust Him in darkness, how to follow Him with no map, just a whisper. And you did. You followed even when it made no sense. You obeyed even when it cost you everything. You turned the other cheek when betrayal burned through your soul. You prayed for those who cursed you. You showed love when hate would have been justified. And in doing so, you revealed the nature of Christ. Now heaven is responding. Not just with words, but with movement. Not just with comfort, but with power. Not just with promises, but with performance. God is shifting things in your favor. Aligning circumstances. Releasing angelic escorts. Unlocking divine strategies. And opening doors so high, no man will be able to say they helped you get there. Your testimony will not be, "They picked me." Your testimony will be, "God raised me." The dreams you thought died, they were just buried, like seeds. The gifts you thought were wasted, they were growing in silence. The seasons you thought were delays, they were divine preparations. You are stepping into a divine appointment, something written long ago. Prophetic words that lingered over your life are now maturing. Time is catching up with destiny. Everything that tried to kill you will now confirm you. Every affliction will now serve your elevation. You didn't lose yourself in the fire. You found yourself. You didn't drown in the storm. You learned to walk on water. You didn't break under pressure. You became unshakable. The anointing on your life is no longer dormant. The weight of glory is increasing. People will begin to sense something different on you. Some will be drawn. Others will be disturbed. But all will be affected. Because when God begins to glorify himself through a chosen one, it stirs both heaven and hell. But fear not, you're not walking into this alone. You're walking in the company of angels, in the favor of God, in the fullness of time. You are rising not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. And God is proud of you, not for being perfect, but for being faithful. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep saying yes, because this story is far from finished. In fact, it's just beginning. There is more, so much more than you ever imagined. You thought the breakthrough was the end, but it was only the doorway. You assumed the healing was the reward, but it was just the beginning of your transformation. What you're stepping into now isn't just a new chapter. It's a new scroll, a new book, a divine rewriting of your legacy. Heaven never forgot the promise. Even when time passed and people walked away, even when your faith wavered and you felt too tired to hope, God held the vision in his hand, waiting for the appointed time. And that time, chosen one, is approaching. You will not be denied what he has declared over you. His word never returns void. It only waits until you're fully ready to carry it. You had to be emptied of the world to be filled with glory. You had to be separated to be sanctified. You had to be broken to be made unbreakable. And through it all, God was watching. Not in judgment, but in pride. Watching how you still praised when everything was stripped away. Watching how you showed mercy when you were wronged. Watching how you kept walking, even when the path led through shadows and silence. Every quiet moment of obedience echoed in eternity. And now, those echoes are turning into a thunderous release. Do not despise the slow seasons. That is where roots grew deep. That is where God formed in you the character to carry the glory. You're not stepping into success. You're stepping into assignment. This isn't about being seen. It's about being sent. You are not rising because of ambition. You're rising because of divine instruction. This next move will come suddenly but not randomly. Every no prepared you for this yes. Every hidden season prepared you for this platform. You were being refined for something weighty. And what is coming will require everything God poured into you while no one was watching. Chosen one, you're not just called, you're commissioned. You're not just gifted, you're graced. You're not just ready, you're anointed. Doors will open. Not just physical doors, but spiritual ones. Realms will respond. The atmosphere around you will shift. Some will be drawn to the light. Others will be repelled. But none will be able to deny the weight you carry. Because it's not you they see, it's the one who sent you. God is going to use your story to unlock others. Your scars will become signs. Your pain will become prophecy fulfilled. Your wilderness will become a wellspring for others lost in their own deserts. This is why the warfare was so intense. This is why the delays were so long. This is why the pressure felt unbearable. Because you are not ordinary. You are not common. You were chosen to carry something holy. Don't look back. Don't second-guess the calling. Don't compare your journey. Heaven recognizes what you did and what you're about to do. Even now, angels are preparing the way. People are being positioned. Doors are being unlocked. Systems are shifting. All creation is groaning for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. And you, yes, you, are part of that unveiling. Stay close to the fire. Stay low in humility. Stay anchored in His Word, because what's coming next will require your full focus and full surrender. But do not fear. You were born for this, and heaven is still writing. There are still pages unwritten, scrolls sealed in the heavenly realm that carry your name, your purpose, your destiny. You feel the pull in your spirit, the quiet trembling that whispers, "There's more." And you are right. There is more. Not just more to endure, but more to become. Not just more to receive, but more to release. You were never meant to merely survive the fire. You were meant to emerge with flames in your eyes and oil on your life. Chosen one, you have crossed through dark valleys where shadows clung to your heels. You've walked roads where silence echoed louder than screams, where prayer felt like speaking into an empty sky. You questioned your worth, your calling, your sanity. But God never left you. He let the storm rage, but only so you'd learn the storm does not determine your identity. The storm only reveals what you carry, and what you carry is sacred. Every battle was allowed, not to break you, but to build you. Every delay was divine, not punishment, but protection. Every door that closed pushed you closer to the one God Himself would open. You see, there are dimensions to your calling that your past could never prepare you for. Only the wilderness could forge the kind of intimacy, the kind of clarity, the kind of obedience that you now possess. You had to be stripped of all that was false so that only the voice of God would remain. This next season will not be fueled by striving, it will be marked by stillness. Not by your efforts, but by your yes. Not by control, but by surrender. And you've learned to surrender. Oh, how painfully, beautifully, powerfully you've surrendered. You laid down dreams, people, timelines, expectations, and plans. You laid yourself on the altar again and again, whispering, "Not my will, but yours." And that whisper shook heaven more than the loudest sermons ever could. Heaven has kept record. And now, the courtroom of eternity is stirring. The gavel is about to fall. The verdict has already been decided. It is time. Time for divine release. Time for vindication. Time for restoration beyond imagination. You will not just walk into a new place. You will become the place. A living sanctuary. A holy vessel. A walking prophecy. People will encounter you and feel something shift. Not because of you, but because of the glory that now rests upon you. It's been costly, painful, isolating. But what's coming will prove it was never in vain. There will be moments where you stand in the middle of fulfillment and weep, not because you're overwhelmed, but because you finally understand the reason behind every closed door, every sleepless night, every prayer that felt unanswered. And when the pieces finally come together, it will look nothing like you imagined, but exactly like God designed. Stay rooted. Stay humble. Stay set apart. You're not stepping into fame, you're stepping into fire, but this time you will not be consumed. You're not chasing influence, you're carrying impact, and it will ripple through generations. You're not following the crowd, you're walking with the cloud. What's next is not the end of your story. It's the unveiling of your scroll, the unlocking of your destiny. The rising of one heaven has crowned in secret, and the Spirit of the Lord says, "Well done. Now rise. It's time." You were never meant to fit into the patterns of this world. You were never called to blend in, to be accepted, to move with the crowd. You were born to stand apart. You were carved out by the hands of eternity, sculpted in silence, shaped in suffering, and prepared in secret. This journey you've walked, it's not random. It's not a mistake. It's not punishment. It's prophecy unfolding. Even when no one clapped for you, heaven stood in ovation. Even when you felt forgotten, angels were dispatched with your name sealed on divine assignments. Even when you whispered, "God, I don't know if I can go on," He responded, "You're closer than you think." Because you are. You are closer than you've ever been. You're closer to the moment where your pain will make sense. Closer to the divine convergence where your trials will turn to testimony. Closer to the outpouring that will shake the very ground you walk on. You see, your whole life has been preparation for what cannot be delayed any longer. And though it tarried, Now it will speak. And it will speak loudly. There is a roar rising in your spirit. Not anger, not pride, but authority. The authority of someone who has walked through fire and came out refined, not ruined. The authority of someone who lost everything but gained the kingdom. The authority of someone who knows who they are, because they never stopped listening to the one who made them. Heaven knows your name. Hell fears your name. And the earth is groaning for what's about to come through you. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to question if you're ready. Everything that was meant to destroy you only confirmed that you were built for more. That depression, that betrayal, that delay, that detour, it all tried to write your ending. But God held the pen the whole time. And what He is writing now, no man can erase. You will walk into rooms and demons will tremble, not because of your status, but because of your surrender. You will speak and atmospheres will shift, not because you're loud, but because you're anointed. You will lay hands and healing will flow, not because of your strength, but because of your obedience. You carry something weighty now, something eternal, and the time has come for it to be revealed. But stay low. Stay yielded. The higher He lifts you, the lower you must go. Let pride die. Let ego be buried. Let your will bow daily at His feet. Because this next move will not be sustained by talent, strategy, or intellect. It will be sustained by purity. It will be sustained by worship. It will be sustained by intimacy with the Father. So keep seeking. Keep listening. Keep walking. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not late. You are right on time, heaven's time. And what heaven starts, heaven finishes. You haven't even seen the fullness of who you are yet. But you will. You haven't seen the scale of impact that will come through you. But it's coming. You haven't seen the people whose lives will be changed because you didn't give up. But they're waiting. And they will know you were faithful. Not perfect. Not flawless. But faithful. And that is what God honors. So keep going, chosen one. The scroll is still open. The ink is still fresh. The angels are still writing. Your story is still unfolding.